Um, there's a lot going on right now. I don't know if you guys are keeping track. A lot of changes, interest rates, the stock market's kind of, volatile as ever and going down. So I'd like to maybe open it up to the room before our leads, needs, and good deeds, to see if anybody has questions or has a topic they want to talk about that's kind of current events right now. And maybe I'll start a little bit updates. We had our call with the NPLA, which is always very informative, and then we like to pass along whatever information that we get to you guys, just in case you guys are aware. So the talks in the meeting amongst all the lenders, and these are all pretty much commercial lenders, hard money, private money, capital providers on Wall Street, big investors. And a lot of what they're seeing in our space is that there's starting to be a price acceptance with the DSCR loans. So the 30-year rental loans, basically. At first, there was a lot of sticker shock going on. I think we talked about that last Friday. But since then, it seems like it's been kind of mellowing out, and there's more requests for DSCR loans now. Some of the topics they're talking about was it's a very interesting environment that we're in right now because of inflation, the turbulence overseas with the war going on and the uncertainty, the supply and demand of asset buyers. So the guys who are basically driving the change in the interest rates, it's a very volatile time in that area, which eventually will shake out to us, whether that's in lower leverages or higher prices. We don't know yet, but things are starting to happen behind the scenes, and it usually starts with the money, right? And then it affects kind of what we do. So there's a lot of discussion about many different areas that are being affected and things to watch out for. So what I got out of that, and maybe Alex, if you have anything to add, since you're on the call, is, oh no, you weren't on the call, huh? You were traveling.
I missed most of it this time, yeah. So I'll let you do the contributing one.
Yeah, no worries. Well, most of what I got out of the call was that there's a lot of action going on behind the scenes. So I think now is more than ever, it's time to pay a little bit more attention to the stuff we normally wouldn't be paying attention to, right? Like interest rates, issues going on with supply and demand. If you have projects going on and you have big, what I would say is let's try to be proactive rather than reactive. So I would look at maybe lead times on some material orders, checking on that, just double checking with your vendors and your suppliers. And actually interested to see if you, Fuzzy, had any issues at all during this. But,
yeah, definitely. So where I'm at, Honolulu is different, but where I'm at, the trusses from, I guess, where I buy the trusses from, I have to order it 12 weeks in advance. So what I'm doing now is I'm coming straight to Oahu and going straight to the truss companies and giving them my plans so that I can meet the timeline for my framers. So it's definitely issues. I've had issues with the projects that I did in Volcano, where Home Depot had none of it, and I had to fly. I drove to Kona to see if they said they had it online, but when I drove there, they didn't have it. So I flew back to Oahu to pick up that material, and only one Home Depot had it, and these were like shower pans. It's crazy. And then, like, a lot of the stuff like insulation, some of the material houses don't have insulation or a certain type of window or door. So you got to make sure that going into your project, you have all your materials lined up and make sure the material houses has it or order it ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah, we ran into issues with trusses as well, right? We're waiting on our trusses, which is it's been a couple of months already since we should have had these things, I think.
Yes.
So yeah, so I would pay attention to lead times because obviously there's a supply chain issue still. But does anybody else have anything to add? Any insights of what's going on or what they're seeing out there before we move on? All righty. Well, okay, let's jump into our leads, needs, and good deeds. I apologize if I have allergies this morning, so I'm kind of battling that. But does anybody have any leads, needs, good deeds? I know there's a bunch of guys taking down deals now. Let's see if they're on the call.
I mean, kudos to you guys. You guys fully funded 100% on the loan and closed in 9 days with someone who needed last minute funding. It's huge.
Oh yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Good job.
Oh, you're my hype girl. No. Oh yeah. Actually, I don't see Keone or Richie on, but they just got into a really nice deal actually right out in Miley. So, but it was a quick close they had to do.
100% construction and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna slam that out fast.
Yeah, well, they're the right guys for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Corey, what kind of project was it? Was it single family home, condo?
That one was a single family fix and flip. Yep.
What's their expected timeline?
I think they can get it done within 4 months in the closing, I think. Yeah. It is, I mean, I think the rental was like 120 or something, the renovation budget. So it's not small, but I think the target's like about maybe 3 or 4 months.
Okay. You know, were they doing any structural issues where they would need some big permits?
No, yeah, it's pretty much just renovating to the existing footprint.
Okay.
Oh, are you looking for deals, Mitch?
Yeah. Looking for deals, here on Oahu as well as also I'm still working in Cleveland, trying to fill out and detail a team for flipping notes in Ohio. It's slowly working through that.
Oh, flipping notes. Nice.
I might have a contact for you in Ohio. We work with a guy that does some flips over there. He has a little team built and they've been working with us, I think, for about 2 years now. So we might have someone we can introduce you to. I don't know how much they know about flipping notes, but they're definitely very active in that market.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, right now I'm really trying to detail what it's going to cost to actually flip the note and change it. I've kind of gotten through the whole process up through finding a buyer and then, transferring, still selling the house. But then, once the note is seasoned, whether it be 2 to 6 months, then selling the note and, transferring it through the county records that way. I'm still a little bit fuzzy on detailing all the costs there. So yeah, if you had a contact, please shoot it over to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Perfect.
Yeah, I'll put my email in the chat.
Awesome. Thanks, Mitch. Thanks, Alex. Does anybody else have anything coming up? Any deals on the line? Money to place? We are becoming a little cash heavy, which is why we kind of jumped on that opportunity alongside Keone and Richie. Last minute is we are a little cash heavy. So if anybody does have some deals that they need, maybe some, private investment or gap funding, we might be interested. in it if it's in, especially if it's in Hawaii. Okay. And does anybody else have anything?
I have someone who's looking for luxury flips. If anyone has a potential wholesale deal on Oahu, Maui, Big Island, all islands.
How big of luxury are they going?
Yeah, I was gonna ask when you say luxury, like what kind of price point are you looking at?
Probably under 5 million, above 2 million. There's some room there still, but that's sort of the niche that they're trying to focus in.
Locations, they'll go on all islands, it doesn't matter.
They'll go on all islands. If it's Oahu, like Manoa to Port Lock area, Waikato, waterfront.
Did you ever find out anything on those 2 properties in Port Lock that are on the corner there over by China Walls?
Numbers that I pulled, no response. Sent a mailer, no response.
Those
They're on my
look
list.
like
emailing.
perfect opportunities.
Yeah. They're on that was a good one, actually. I didn't even think about him for those, but if they do respond, that is a good one. For sure.
Awesome.
I think they'll definitely need a couple million in work. At least that's what it looks like. And it'll probably cost a couple million for their location.
A great one on the back end.
Oh,
Wow, you got something coming high? Anything?
No, nothing right now. But I'll definitely keep an eye out.
Please, thank you.
Yep.
how's the development listing? Is that getting interest?
So the 9-unit development in Wanalua Gardens, yeah, I have a showing on it today. And then I did one last week from somebody on Coffee Talk or in our network, but from Instagram. And young developer, he loves retaining walls. He loves big projects. So I'm like, if you love retaining walls, this is your project. So we're currently working out numbers, getting creative because it's a 9-unit CPR, different TMKs. In theory, the owner can, because he's willing to do seller financing, but you can also get a business loan on it. You can also get a commercial loan because it's got dwellings. It's not just vacant land. So the opportunities really open up there. And just kind of getting creative and structuring the price with what, do we do owner financing on half the lots, full 100%, and then they finance the other lots via commercial loan? Do we package it all together? Nothing is set in stone. It will take a little while for sure.
Nice.
And then the Kaava lots, haven't listed them yet. Just slow burning off market prospects for that as well.
Okay, perfect. Well, it's good to hear that people from Coffee Talk are showing interest. Maybe not on the call or live, but after that's fine as well, right? So, does anybody else have any leads, needs, good deeds to talk about?
I do.
Hi, Tay.
Hi. So we're closing on 3 properties, 4 doors in Indy next month. So
Nice.
I think the first one closes on the 6th, and I am raising capital for like the gap funding right now. I was able to get purchase price covered by private lenders 100%, and now I'm raising for rehabs. We're looking at $75K per deal right now. So
Okay.
just
So that's
putting
about
this out there.
225.
Yeah, one of them doesn't need much, so it might just be 40, 50K, honestly. But yeah, one of them we need 75K each, but 2 of them.
And
Yeah, and they're just single family homes in nice areas in Indy.
What's the exit strategy?
All of them are buy and hold, so I'm just gonna refinance out of them. So I'm thinking 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
or so would the funds would be needed. And then I don't know, I know it's recorded, but can we say how much we're offering or no?
You're under contract? Are you under contract?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, for private, I'm doing 10% minimum.
Oh, you mean like how much you're offering?
The
Yeah, of
rate.
course you can. Yeah,
Yeah,
10%.
okay, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, so just putting that out there. At least purchase is covered, right? So that's good.
Yeah, you can
We're
close.
set on that. Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
close. So now we're doing the rehabs. But yeah,
Got it.
so I have scopes of work. I have all the pictures, videos, all of that. If anybody's
Well,
interested.
when did you close on it?
We haven't closed. We're under contract. Scheduled closing are like the 6th, and so one property is on the 6th and 2 properties are on the 13th. So I still
Okay.
have time, still have a couple of weeks to raise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, what is how much? So it's 75,000 for
Yeah,
the
so
renovation.
so there are 2 single family homes and 1 duplex. Each of the single family homes, we're looking at 75K of rehabs each.
Okay.
And the duplex, I could keep it as is, and there are tenants. So on the duplex, I'm thinking 50K, and I don't think we have to wait till the tenants leave anyway to do anything. So on the duplex, we're doing like a hard money, like a long-term hard money loan. So I need at least a gap funding on that, which is 20 plus 28. So about 50K. Yeah, there.
Okay. So you're gonna buy it, renovate it, and then refi?
Yeah, all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're all at a pretty good discount.
So you're using all private money for the purchase, right?
On the single families, we have
Mhm.
private for purchase. On the duplex, I've got a hard money lender,
Got it. Okay.
a local hard money lender over there. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Would the hard money lender be able to cash you out on the single family, like after you close? Like, because maybe you can just, if they could fund your renovation 100% and do like a
Oh yeah, I see what
delayed
you're saying.
purchase, then you might be able to get the cash back that you put in there when you bought it and use that for the
True.
renovation, unless I'm understanding it wrong. Like, because for us, we call that a delayed purchase, right? So if you bought it all cash, how much are you buying it for? The single families?
One of them is 130 purchase price. The other one is 107,500 purchase price.
107,500 purchase price. Okay. So we could come right behind it and do a delayed purchase. And actually Justin's on, so it's perfect. He knows our box better than I do. But we can come behind it, do a delayed purchase and cash you out up to 90% if you can qualify, right? So you get 90% of the 130 back, to which you can use to do the renovation. And plus we'll finance the renovation too. I hope I'm not speaking wrong. Just
No, you're right. Yeah. So basically it's the same leverage as if it was a purchase, just minus the closing costs. So basically that leverage would just be used to where you wouldn't, barring, the numbers and everything, wouldn't have to bring any extra cash to closing or anything like that.
Does that make sense?
Not really, but I know I can understand it. I have your number, Justin. I will text you.
Definitely.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. I didn't even know we could do that. So thank you.
Yeah. So then there is a possibility. I mean, there's a possibility we could help you with that. So yeah,
Okay.
maybe give me or Justin a call after today.
Yeah. Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. And speaking of delayed purchase too, Fuzzy, I don't know if did we do delayed purchase for your lots? So maybe we can touch up on that.
Yeah, I think we did the delayed purchase with Todd's one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, everybody, probably everybody knows Fuzzy already, but Fuzzy, he's on again to give us an update on what's going on in Big Island, and his business, and because he kind of took a leap of faith last year with us, because Fuzzy was closing most of his deals with all cash private money. which is great, but it's also expensive too, right? And you typically, what's limited for most of us on the call is private money, right? Hard money, if you can qualify, that's pretty much unlimited capital up into a certain LTV, right? But private money, working with private investors, is usually what's the scarce resource that we have to work with, right? So Fuzzy, fortunately, you know, has a network of his investors and partners that were funding his deals. So we wanted to kind of bring him back on first to get an update and talk about what he's doing, because to my understanding, everything's going really well. And him taking the leap of faith to try hard money, to feel what the power of leverage can do, I think is a good learning lesson for us all here on the call. So welcome back, brother Fuzzy. Thanks for coming on, and give us an update. Like, start again, like what you're doing, you know, a little bit about your story, and then jump into an update if you can.
Okay, what's up, Gange? Hello, everybody. Before I got my realtor Jade on the line, and been working with her since I think for a while now. But anyway, my niche is brand new builds. So I take raw land, put in plans, build the house, and sell it for affordable prices in Kilo. And I feel like a Big Island in certain areas, there's still affordability for local families. The only thing that's challenging is the jobs. So if families can make things work or figure it out, they can purchase land anywhere from like $5,000 to, you know, upwards of 100,000+, you know, and we're not talking just small land. We're talking like, you know, 12,000 square foot to 3 acres, you know. So it's pretty cheap considering the amount of land that you can get. So I grew up both on Oahu, so I'm originally from Waimanalo, and my grandparents moved to the Big Island, so I would go back and forth. So you know, I grew up in Puna, and I seen growing up, you know, I worked around the construction side all my life, during high school and stuff like that. My grandfather was a journeyman painter and sandblaster, so I was always around job sites. So what I'm doing basically is going back to my roots, where I'm from, and I seen the numbers of properties, the prices, and I looked at the sales of what the houses were selling for. And I you know, in the beginning, I paid for my education, which, you know, I joined the Fortune Builders. So I'm not sure everybody familiar with Fortune Builders. Signed with them. I did a lot of stuff with some coaches for free. Like, basically did everything they told me to, and, you know, got me into the position I am today.
You're muted, Fuzzy.
And the field I'm in to be able to do what I do. So before I met Kiko or Corey, them, I put, you know, bandit signs all over the place, and that's kind of how I met Corey.
Yeah. And I called your sign, yeah.
Yeah, and
it said your sign was Fuzzy buys houses. I was like, oh, that's a little different. So it's like, I'm gonna take a picture of that sign and call him, and that's how we met.
Yeah, so in the beginning, just tell you to, even though it's illegal to put these signs up, I just went out in broad daylight and posted it up on the pole, you know. And, you know, I got calls from you and a couple, like, you know, even Mike called me too. So anyway, long story short, I found my way into, you know, developing affordable houses for local families. So and along the way, I met some good people. Jim and Loretta was a couple that I met, and you know, they work for a nonprofit organization, and they see the same vision I have to give back to our community and keep our local families back here in Hawaii, because on Oahu it's pretty tough to find, you know, affordability for families. So, you know, on the Big Island, it gives me the opportunity to give back. So, anyway, where do I go? So we found this. Before I met Corey, I was doing partnerships. So I will do all the work. I have the team on the ground. I know the location. I basically have the whole system, right? I learned this from another partner that a phone call from my dozer guy. Anyway, so I basically followed this one partner of mine that I started with. He was a developer. He had the system that I'm working on right now, you know, and I'm sharing. And, you know, his vision was different than mine. So after a few deals, we kind of, you know, went our own ways. And then I took what I learned from him and kind of made it my own. So basically I found partners that had money through either social media or the network of the fortune builders, families, friends. I just reached out, and that's where I was able to fund my project. So they would put up all the money to purchase the property for the materials and labor, and then at the back end I would split 50-50. So that's how I was funding my, you know, in the beginning. I still do that today. But then, you know, when I heard this new program that Corey reached out to me, I got this thing that might work for you. And, you know, so Kiko offered me, I think it was 65, purchase the land, 65% they would put up to purchase the land and 100% of the construction. I was like, well, let me try to run some of the numbers, you know. And so from then I was already looking for properties, or in fact, I had properties in line to purchase. And in fact, I did around the same time me and Corey and Justin was kind of working out our numbers. I already had the area I was going to purchase, the lots, and what kind of houses I was going to build. And shoot, the process was pretty smooth. Like, I gotta say, I was kind of scared in the beginning because I've never used hard money ever. Like I always had partners or private money. And
you like me, and you and I came in like roughly the same time, right, into our market here.
Right.
And I think I met you in 2013 or 14, around there.
yes,
But I know that, like, I've seen a lot of people, especially developers, right, local developers, kind of get pinched and get bit, and, you know, because they leverage too much, or they didn't structure the deals properly. So that's why, like, when you say that, you know, you're a little scared to touch hard money, like, I understand why, right? Especially back then too, hard money was a little different. It was more expensive, less
Right.
leverage, more aggressive, I'd say. Now it's more institutionalized, and, you know, they check the boxes, you know, and you're not dealing with too many just private sharks who are hard money lenders, you know. It's more institutionalized now. So I know why it was hard for you to kind of just leverage hard money, right? Because just put all private money on there, and then at least you know the investors who are investing with you, right? Rather than a hard money lender who kind of sometimes, you know, they're out for their collateral,
Right.
you know.
I can tell you why, because I'm such a micromanager for all of my projects, right? What happened is I seen friends that were involved a long time ago who lost their pants because they're far stretched, right? And if you have your, like, not going against what hard money is, I love working, you know, and I'm stoked that I experienced this opportunity. But, like, if you do have money and you can put money into your own projects and flip it, you know, you have all equity, it's all bank. But if you want to scale, which I did, and that was the goal for using Kiko, I was able to take like, so I was loaned from Kiko, what I think it was 1.302. So It was like about 212 to 217 per house. And that was the total for my budget. And at the closing table, I had total. I'm doing 6 projects, 6 houses. Total, I had to bring to the table to closing because the appraisal didn't meet the standards. So I had to bring, like, I think it was 7 or 8 grand per property to closing. And but I was able to leverage 50K to get 1.302. I was like, what? I mean, you know, going into it was super scary because I'm like, okay, I gotta owe 1.3. And you know, all you wow gangs over here, man, you guys, that's like nothing. 1.3. But to me, it's like, because my whole cost to build a house with land is in like the 300K range, or you know, or less, depending on what, like these ones I'm doing is more or less. It's like 250 all in for a brand new house with land. I mean, when I look at these houses and they're done, I'm like, it's not worth that. It's worth more, because eventually, like, what's happening there is gonna happen, the same thing that happened to Maui and Big Island. I mean, Oahu.
Yep.
I mean, these houses are cherry. But going in, if you want to scale the hard money program that you guys offer, in fact, is even better now than when I signed up, because I was a pilot. There was another guy named
Go back a little bit, Fuzzy. Just a little bit. Go back to where
Yeah,
the
rewind a little
other
bit.
guy's name.
You're muted.
Okay, sorry. You know, my phone blows up all the time.
I know. This is every day for Fuzzy.
I mean, yeah, so sorry if you know gets unmuted, but where am I at again? Sorry, I got
No, go back a little bit.
To the other guy. You left off at the other guy.
what other guy?
There, you were the pilot with another guy.
I was a pilot.
You were the pilot for the program, right?
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
okay, I gotta.
that's why they call me Fuzzy, because I got so much crap going on. Okay, so
Oh, shit.
anyway, so Martin Canberra is another guy on the island, and he was, I think, the first to talk to you guys, right? And then when Corey came and called me and talked story with me about this program, I was like, oh, okay. And then I kind of was like, wow, this thing might work, right? So shoot, I guess we were talking on this coffee talk in September, right? When I was already doing like bulldozing stuff.
Mhm.
And we just put 4 on the market.
Yep.
3 of them went into escrow the second day. Well, like that first day, Jade listed it. The second day, 3 of them went into escrow. The 4th one is still on the market, and I have 2 more that I'm getting ready to wrap up. I'm gonna ask for my last draws from you guys, and then put it on the market. And I think my all-in with Kiko and, you know, all-in cost is closer to like the 245 to 50 range, all in per property.
Mhm.
Can I share? I made a little video.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share my video so you guys can see kind of. There's no music. I'm not gonna sing to you guys though. So
Definitely
need to sing.
I cannot sing.
Are you able to share it on your phone?
How do you share it though? Like, oh, screen. There you go. Start now. Okay, my look, my ugly face. Here. So here's a video I kind of put together. You guys can see it?
Hey, everybody go follow Puka Pockets. We got to get this off the ground, Fuzzy. Instagram at Puka Pockets right now. I hope I'm following.
You can hear the thing going?
No.
Okay, so this is the dozer.
If you,
generated-
Fuzzy, if you click the microphone button, it'll unmute it.
No, I think you want it muted, huh?
Oh,
No? Okay, anyway, I can talk through this thing. You guys can hear me, right?
Yep, I
Yep.
can hear you.
Okay, so we use D9s up on the Big Island to clear our lots and then to make the pad and stuff because it's forest, right? And then this is some action of the dozer. Here's the 4 properties all together.
So is that so you guys have to take out the trees, yeah? What kind of trees is that?
So these are fern, ohia, and a lot of
Mhm.
a lot of forestry, man. I mean, I was kind of upset after I did it, just thinking, look at how much timber I took down. So now I'm kind of the next lot in the 2 back. I kind of saved the back property
Uh-huh.
because anyway, because I just felt bad when I took down all that forest. So I'm just trying to do the road and pad like I used to.
Is that single family?
But yeah,
Is
these
that-
are all single family homes. This is how the finish, came
Oh,
out.
nice. Yeah, I like it.
Simple HPM package, the 4 million. They were pre-approved plan, so they moved quickly. So that's how come from September to now I'm in escrow already,
Got it. And that's the catchment tank, yeah?
Yeah, that's the water catchment, which is normal in these areas that I'm building. It's not as developed as Oahu.
Yep.
But
But it's on septic as well.
septic tank, yes.
And then how do you get power? Is there power at least out there?
Yes, for this one, there's the Hiko paved road on this one, close to the golf course up in Volcano. And
So you're all in about 250 a house.
that's with land and everything, even the loan, like all of this. Don't tell people, jeez.
I thought you said you want everyone to come over there and play with you.
Right now I'm kind of locked in with the people who I've been working with.
Yep.
That's my partners. I'm kind of far stretched, like I have quite a bit going on, so taking on other people is kind of tough unless you guys just want to throw money. Something out.
Well, so Fuzzy, I guess the important thing on this with your kind of story is because we kind of watched it play right before our eyes, right? And you're a prime example of what hard money or what hard money financing can do to help someone scale their business, right? So let's talk about when you were closing it with just private money, how much could you do at a time, based on capacity and how much private capital you had at the time? Because you'd have to tie up 250,000 roughly per house, right? So
Right. So my thing was, a lot of times to keep my train rolling, my profits, I would buy the land, throw in the planning in the department so I can get that ball rolling, because that process takes a while, and then find the partner who'd be interested in JVing or putting up the whole amount and then splitting at the back end. So finding people while the lava is flowing, when there's storms, like it wasn't easy to get people's trust when in the beginning of when I was starting. It's not easy because people think, oh, Big Island, but where are you building in Puna? Oh my God, there's lava. So that is one huge hurdle. And these 6 houses is right close to the pool or event, but it's in lava zone 3. So, it's above the rift zone where, Pele, she's close by though,
Yeah.
But,
well, I remember you sent me video, right? We just closed on your lots, and then there was an eruption. The lava's going. You took a video, sent it to me. I was like, "Oh, are you okay? Like, you got the insurance? You got the insurance in line?"
And it's because my message to everybody is like, if you want to scale, I mean, I see Kamoha, I seen Keone, I seen, all the main guys out there, like super stoked to see these guys doing what they're doing, and it proves that if you put in hard work and put in the time and get the right network, you can do it, and I did not want to go into hard money at all.
Yeah.
Because
those are your exact words. I don't want to use hard money.
Like, to me, like it's scary, right? Because if something was to go wrong, now I got to pay back that money. Like, if it was all my money, then, we're just sitting on equity, right?
Yeah.
So we can either rent the place out, cash out, or take less, sell it for less, and still get our money back. So that's my mentality.
Yeah.
But I had to reach out of that box that I was in to scale, I guess,
Yeah.
And,
So, how many were you doing at a time, roughly, with your resources? And then after leveraging with us, how many are you able to do? Because I think,
oh boy. So
because you're doing a lot with just private money, as when I met you.
I think I was averaging maybe around 5 or 6 a year. And then I was managing other people's stuff. So I was doing about 10 to 15 projects a year, but I was partnering and just these ones, the brand new ones. I was doing about 5 or 6 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then managing other guys' stuff.
Others.
Yeah.
So how many are you able to do now? If you're spreading that private money wide now, instead of on each, all of it on each one, you're spreading it wide in second position with hard money in first.
So right now I got nine going, right? I got the 6 or 3s in escrow, but I got 6 in Volcano and a 3 in with Todd, with Kiko.
Yep. Todd's one had 3, right? So okay.
And
then what was the profit, roughly net profit, when you partnered versus when you leveraged hard money and spread the money wide? Like, let's compare the profit, because the profit should be higher with just private money, you would think. I didn't run any numbers or anything, but what would you say?
So yeah, of course, hard money, you could make more money because we only put 50K. We did have the rolling funds meaning funds to do the first couple scope of works, and then we got refunded back, right, from Kiko. And so we just needed funds in the bank to float us through the first scopes, and we kept just using that funds to keep the project rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And we only leveraged close to 50K to leverage 1.3, right? Mm-hmm. And then each house we're gonna take home, I would say, after all said and done, like 80 to 100K profit, per house. And I would take less, because if there's a local family or single mom, less to sell the house cheaper, because like we still have that much room, and like for me, if there's a local family that cannot qualify and they need more money, like I'll credit them, to get them the house, and we are doing that one with, I'm doing one with Shannon and Brandon. And the girl couldn't qualify. So we're at 360 first and she couldn't qualify. And then we gave it to her for 350.
Oh,
Yeah.
you said 380 or 360? So 10
Yeah,
grand.
right. Yeah. And then the house is gonna appraise above that, like way above.
Yeah.
A local girl, right? And then even with Jim and Loretta, we did one for we promised the owners that were in the mainland and moved back. We say, look, we can give it to you. I think we were like 260. I forget the price. It was way lower than what the house was worth. So, it's not about the money, but this is with Kiko gave me the opportunity to scale and give back more instead of just doing 1 or 2 or 3 a year. I'm doing 15 to 20 with the resources that I have,
Yeah.
I can do more because of the team. I have more team members on the ground there. I had to because I'm scaling, so I had to hire more, more people. And so far, I mean, it's moving quicker than it used to be, and the system I have is starting to get better and better each time because I had to go through a lot of learning lessons, a lot of subs. But it's it's a different market, right? Than Oahu.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's definitely profitable for me and my team, and I appreciate this opportunity to share because even if you're on Oahu, wherever you're at, right, like where you grew up, believe it or not, there's deals around there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
where you come from.
This is why I love you, Ra. And this is why everybody loves Fuzzy, because you have a big heart, and and the way that you're thinking about it now is so admirable because you were afraid to take the leap to leverage hard money, but you did. Now your profit margin is actually went up because you're saving, right? You don't have to tie up as much capital to do a deal now. Not even it's just a fraction of what you used to have to put up. So you can do more deals. You can offer more housing out there, which is very much in need, just like across all the islands and the nation. And then with the extra savings, you're working with the local homeowner or buyers, first-time buyers that may not have been able to qualify. Maybe they're 10 grand off, like how you did on that one, right? You just dropped the price. Why? Well, because you also it isn't just about the money, right? You're making a difference, so that's why it's truly admirable. And when you said that you're over the years, because I was one of those guys, I'm guilty, that Fuzzy came to early on. He's like, "Bro, you gotta see what I'm doing out here in Big Island. Come see my lava tube in Big Island. I'll show you what's going on, and finally I get to work a little bit alongside you out there, and maybe we come, partner up and do even more out there. But even since back then, you've been getting better and better, right? Fine tuning the process to where now it's a well-oiled machine. And with new construction, you can run it pretty much like a conveyor belt, right?
Yeah.
That's the difference between ground up and like a fix and flip project. Is a fix and flip project is a new puzzle from the beginning every time, right? So it's kind of hard to scale that. It's hard to systematize that. You can get really close, but for ground up, it's like all the work is done in the front with the planning, the entitlements, the permitting, and working with the different county departments. So as you kind of got the machine running, you're learning and learning, getting better and getting better. And that's what our approach is too, because we're not perfect either, right? And things change quickly, that what I've learned in the finance space. And you do have to work alongside a lot of different third parties like appraisers or underwriters, processors. So we're trying to get better and better every day with every loan. You know, we're trying. Sometimes, you know, things happen. But with that said, like, because you worked with Justin, right? Which is great that Josh said you're on the phone. As we move forward to fund, you know, Fuzzy's deals and hopefully more and more and more, is there anything that we've learned closing with Fuzzy? Because Fuzzy was one of the first that we did like delayed purchase on his lots, right? So if you can help explain what delayed purchase is, since it sounds like Cave might be able to benefit from that too. But early on, we would do that for some of the lots that Fuzzy already bought with his cash, right? But anything else that you may have learned, the two of you, going through the multiple closings that we've already had with Fuzzy. Josh.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, basically, especially with the permitting, the way that it is in Hawaii, you know, when it comes down to delayed purchases, it's a really good strategy for people to utilize. And we've also even changed the product to where now, as far as going about it, it's not even, it's definitely as relevant, but not even now the only route that we have to take in order to sometimes go about these while waiting on permits. So basically what Fuzzy was doing was he was buying the whole lots in cash, waiting for the plans and permits to come in. And then when they did, as long as it was within the 6-month time frame. Now, even anything within a year, we can still push to actually still do the same type of product. Basically, what we would do is leverage the land at this point with an even higher LTV, because once the plans and permits come in, we can raise the leverage up 10%. So instead of 65% without it, it is now 75% with it. So basically, we'll leverage the land, and then at that point, we'll be able to cover all of your closing costs, fund the whole renovations, and then also wrap in the interest payments into the loan, as long as it fits within the ARV, which typically always does on a ground up, and then the loan to cost, and typically always will, unless, you know, the lot is, you know, a fairly smaller lot size. I don't recall if we exactly ran into that on the original ones, Fuzzy, because I know the lots were just a little bit smaller. But as lots continue to go up, that's also something that we haven't really been running into. So yeah, I mean, one of the things this was one of the first times that we kind of executed the delayed purchase. And it's also very, very efficient if, you know, if you guys have the means of the liquidity to buy a property in cash on a quick close, because we can do it for regular fix and flips. We can do it for long-term rentals. It's primarily utilized for ground up. And now that we're also doing non-Dutch interest on our ground up, it is almost very close to the same thing as if we go through the purchase without the plans and permits, because now you guys aren't going to accrue the holding costs on the renovation budgets until you pull it. So whether we do it on the purchase or the refinance, that's also been an improvement. But as far as delayed purchase goes, it's one of my favorite things to offer, because it's something that any investor can utilize in order to secure a property and still treat it as a purchase.
Thanks, Josh. And
Yeah.
I'll kind of explain what's the benefits of utilizing the delayed purchase. Okay, so like there's some markets in the across the nation that are very competitive, right? And some of us are probably playing in some of those markets where you have to close in 10 days all cash. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? Like if you can't close in 10 days or 7 days all cash, then you can't compete, right? There's markets like that out there, or maybe even 2 weeks, right? And since currently national hard money lenders, most of them do require appraisals or some sort of valuation process. And most of the time it's appraisals. Now, appraisers in some markets, like in Hawaii, are very backed up, and they're in low supply. So sometimes the investors will have to maybe buy it all cash or all private money, right? Just to close in 7 days, because they don't have to put up paperwork. They don't have to get an appraisal and wait for it. So they don't have to go through underwriting. So if you're closing with liquid cash or with private money, then you can compete in those markets. Now, if you do that, then you have to tie up all your money though, right? So if an investor goes and buys a piece of land, let's just say Fuzzy buys a lot for 100 grand, right? But he has to close in 10 days. So he'll close all cash with his private money or his cash. And then we'll come right behind that closing and refinance him with a loan. Okay, so since we can go up to 65% LTV on raw land, we can give him 65,000 back when we close that loan. Okay, so he'll have to keep 35,000 of that he put in as equity in the land, but now he's putting a loan on it through us. So he gets $65,000 back in his pocket, to which some of it might go to cover the closing costs of that. And then he can use maybe 60,000 of that to start the construction when he's ready, right? And like Justin said, now for us, we can go up to 75% of the land if there's plans and permits in place already. So some people will buy the land with cash, sit on it while they're getting permits and getting the permits for the build. And then once the permits are approved, then we can refinance with a construction loan. That we do that too, but that's basically just a regular refinance. If we're using a delayed purchase refinance, then that has to be within 6 months of when they bought the property. So sometimes we cannot wait because permits take longer than 6 months sometimes out here in Hawaii, right? So you don't want to miss that window. So we can purchase the land all cash. We'll come right behind it and refinance up to 65% of the value. If you do have permits, then we can capture 75% of that value. Then Fuzzy will have 65 to 75,000 cash in his hand that he can start the construction, right, when he's ready. Plus we wrap all the interest payments into the loan, so he doesn't have to have money set aside to cover the hard money loan, right? And then Justin mentioned that non-Dutch and Dutch interest, right? So before our ground up loan product was Dutch interest, meaning that if you bought the land for 100 grand, but your build is 200, then you're gonna have to pay interest on 300,000, the 100 for the land, 200 for the build, even though you haven't pulled on the construction line yet. Dutch interest means you're paying interest on the construction holdback funds as well, even though it's not in play.
Yeah,
So
you guys stiffed me on that one. Thank you.
Justin, I'll tell you.
I feel bad now. No.
Why now? Okay, let Fuzzy go first and see what he does, and then
Yeah.
something better. Oh,
So Fuzzy has all our Dutch loans, so you guys don't have to worry about it.
I was a dummy now.
Nah. So, but now we can do non-Dutch, meaning that if we lend Fuzzy 65,000 on his delayed purchase refi, then he's only gonna pay interest on 65,000 until he starts drawing. So maybe his first draw is 50,000, right? Then that 50 gets added to the principal, which is 65. So now he's paying interest on 105,000. Right. So it saves money, especially in development or ground up construction, because it's a lengthier process typically. So that's basically what a delayed purchase is. It's basically a refinance to capture equity immediately after a closing. So Fuzzy, I guess before we kind of wrap up, what would you say the opportunity is out there? Because like you said, you're doing great things. You, Jim and Loretta, it's doing great things for the development of that island, which needs to be developed, right? There's responsible development and irresponsible development. You guys are totally on the responsible side, maybe even more than you have to be. So how do we get more people to be involved in what you're doing? And maybe more than just money, because we've seen the benefits locally. So
yeah, I understand.
What would you guys need? Is it money, more private capital, more land, more workers, more crew? more
So
support from the community?
here's what, there's more than enough land where I'm building, and also, you know, a few people that's on this show are doing the same thing.
Uh,
He's made it hard for every island to
Yeah.
be able to permits, right? So the only way we can get that changed is if we talk to our mayor or governor or like to change it, because right now Oahu is crazy.
we
Like to
have to
get
be
a,
the worst in the nation.
like you just run in circles and you can't get any answers, right? So that's one problem we need to fix.
Yeah.
Because why does it take 1 year to get building permits?
Yeah.
So I'm baffled.
Oh, that reminds me, before you go any more, Fuzzy, I have to tell everybody that to like a genuine thank you to you for because we've been waiting on our guys, we've been waiting on permits forever. Okay, for my projects. So much so where I still don't have my permits. And Fuzzy was stepped up and he helped us out, and the permits are pushing through now. And it doesn't sound like much, right? But I think some of us here on the call have had projects where you're bleeding thousands of dollars. You know, we pay $1,400 per day in interest. So I lose $1,400 per day, you know, even when the guys aren't working, you know, on Sundays, right? And we got burned a couple of times, right? And recently we did get kind of burned by one of our architects that was running our permits. But if it wasn't for Fuzzy, we'd still be stuck in the water and our projects wouldn't be moving along. So yeah, thank you, Fuzzy. Seriously. Like I don't know. I have great words to share, but I think it's gonna be a little sappy, so I better cut it. Just thank you.
Yeah.
And
No,
that's all the words I could say is thank you for helping us.
Thank you for you guys. I mean, it's all about aloha, right? Spreading the aloha. That's how I grew up, and you know, if you see if someone down, you know, I'm always there to try and help to pick them up, you know, and that's how we all need to share is that, and you know, it makes me happy to be able to help people that's in that kind of situation, because we don't want to see our brother down, you know.
Yeah, and that's the power of like our call here, right? And it's like an extended family across the nation. You know, maybe most of us are here in Hawaii, but we have friends and networks spanning the entire nation. You know, and it's what it's all about. It's like when you have the more relationships, genuine relationships that you have, that the more influence you have, and with the more influence, the more powerful you can be. So as us together, all of us on the call, even if you don't turn your screen on or unmute or anything, like you're a part of this, right? We have each other's back. You're listening in. You know who to call. Like, hey, that Fuzzy guy is in Big Island. Like, I have problems out there. You know, maybe I'll give Fuzzy a call. Maybe I'll reach out to this person. Like, that's how things move here, and that's how we do deals. That's how we get really wealthy. And the people who know how to leverage their relationships, their social capital, those are the people who make the biggest difference and build the most wealth. That's a fact. Call them connectors, right? If you read The Go Giver. So thank you, Fuzzy, for sharing, and hopefully we can have you back on maybe in another couple quarters, you know, to talk about the next update. And I want to sit down and kind of map out what the next moves are, so we can stay ahead a little bit,
right,
and help you get to, you know, 10 houses, 20 houses at a time. Because what was your goal this year?
I think it was 30, and I'm close to it.
Yeah,
I'm at least, you know, I'm not gonna say.
you gotta be at least at like 15. No, 10 to 15, I'd say. 820. Are you almost there? You gotta shoot your goal already then.
You know, the thing with Big Island, where I'm doing these new homes, the properties are already developed, right? So I'm not going in like how you're doing your deal where you buy the land and then subdivide CPR. These are already,
Yeah.
CPR, or already has its own TMK or address, right?
Mhm.
I'm not developing land. The land's already done. The pins are there, right? So I go in, I cherry pick, not cherry pick, but I try to find the one that's gonna work with my numbers.
Yeah.
Even if the next door neighbor has junky cars, broken cars, chronics, of course,
Mhm.
and and try to make it a deal for our local families. And so far, so good, man. I mean, it's
Yeah.
been a blessing to help give back and keep that affordable still here, even though we don't see it.
Well, a humble guy like yourself, Rob, is it's a sight to see someone succeeding who has the same heart as us, everyone on the call here. So please read through the chat because there's some amazing words that you need to read and because you deserve.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing, Fuzzy. We're all rooting for you, and we're gonna figure out a way to do even more because 30 is too small, apparently, Rob. You gotta double that, I think, maybe like 50 at least.
Well, the thing is, like, so say the market changed. I mean, there's enough buffer for us to break even, right? The 80 or 100K. So so even if the market does change, we can still somewhat cash out, refinance. We can rent the place out, right? In the area that I'm these houses they're all in the B&B areas. So they're like right by the golf course, yeah.
Oh.
So and there B&Bs all over this whole neighborhood.
Are they doing Airbnb with those?
Not me. I would like to, but I have a partner. I have a partner who put up the 50K and the buying of the properties that of these 6. Yeah.
Is the community okay with it? Like,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I know we got that 90-day thing, but these people that's up there, it's in a B&B area. So like, Waikiki, Turtle Bay, some places in Makaha, they're short-term rental, they allow that, right? So this is a place where they allow that.
And that's interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. Oh man. Oh, we're gonna have a coffee talk army coming over there now.
Loose lips sink ships. Oh my goodness.
No, I mean, if anybody's gonna be playing out there with you, like I'm sure they'll reach out. And honestly, it's in their best it's in people's best interest to go through you, and I'm just saying someone like you, but specifically you, because like I said before, I'm born and raised here in Hawaii, right? I'm from Waimanalo too. And but I don't even think I could go over there and build without having problems. I mean, unless things have changed, it's just different, different people, different community, different culture. So you got to have the right person in there, which is you and your team, right? So if somebody does want to go out there and try, it's great, but you might want to reach out to someone like Fuzzy or someone who's already in there that's earned the right to be accepted out there to build on the land, right? So,
it's definitely even because even if I grew up there too, I've had challenges as well. Like people, construction is a weird business. People say they're gonna do something, but they don't. So you really got to keep people accountable and have the correct team, because it was quite a bit of time for me to get to that point. It took me at least 3 or 4 years to get a solid team, and even that solid team, I still could work on areas that could be corrected. But
yeah. Well, thanks again, Fuzzy. We'll check back in for an update, and we look forward to more closings. And thank you, everybody. I know we ran a little over, but thank you for jumping on our call, and hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Oh, shucks. I was just going to do a shout out to real quick. Oh, Fuzzy. If you, I wonder if you and Chris, so Chris Allen is who I wanted you to speak with. He's
Okay.
on the call right now. Yeah. So
Okay.
he's running more of our conventional side.
Okay.
That we're going to be partnering up with him. So Chris,
Okay.
I'm going to sync up a call with us because there's a lot going on out there. There's a lot of
Right.
people that need to be qualified to get into these houses, and we want to see if we can be a part of that, right? So
Perfect.
and if anybody does have anyone that needs a conventional loan, FHA, VA, please reach out to us or Chris. We haven't done an official big launch yet, but we are rocking and rolling. So we need to show our capital providers that we can bring the heat, we can bring the deals, we can service them properly, and we can capture a large audience to serve here locally here in Hawaii, for them to be vested to send more money out here to spread amongst the people, so it will do a lot of good. So please, any referrals would be amazing.
If I can just add to that real quick. So the company, Pacific Bay, they are, and we'll see if Chris is, I'm super excited. He's working really hard to try to close in under 30 days too, possibly like 21 or less. So for any of your fix and flips, having the agent, your listing agent, have Chris's marketing team put together something to put on the listing table. So when people are looking at, getting pre-approved, if they want to be competitive in this market and get their offers accepted, having a lender that can close quickly or has really competitive interest rates is just going to help you guys on your exit strategy too.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ashley. Yeah,
And Chris,
Pac Bay has, they have a competitive rate sheet, and I've been with them for 6 years, and I've been fortunate to learn the process of, being a loan officer, processor, touching the file, and the only other person that touches the file is an underwriter and a doctor or a funder. So that allowed me to fund a real estate transaction in under 30 days, even in COVID, when most mortgage companies they were just backed up because of the volume of applications that were coming in. And luckily our company, we were still in that under 30 day turnaround time, which is great. So if you guys have anything, or, I'd be happy to take a look at it, at least talk to the client and, provide some advice. My motto is advice over price. Do something to help others, and that's how they're going to remember you.
Love it. So, and you guys can see why Chris is like, Alex came to me. He's like, dude, I met our guy. We found him, He's like, his name is Chris. He's out in Southern California, but he already's with Pac Bay, and we can do this. He's got the same heart, same culture. And then, so when I met Chris, sure enough, like, he's exactly us. And that's why I am so confident that we're going to do some major damage in this market. Like, just mark my words, like we're going to show our guys at Pac Bay, John, he's the CEO, and we have no problems showing our value first, right? That's how it should be. We want to earn our right to place money to local people to get into homes here in Hawaii. We want to be the source, the local source of direct lending here in Hawaii. But in order for us to get to that level, we do have to show John and our capital provider, Pac Bay, that we can bring the heat. We can bring the people who need the type of financing that we now have access to. And it's not just Hawaii, okay? It's 41 out of 50 states as well that we can do this in. So just keep that in mind, even for yourselves and your other investments, because we have non-QM products, we have DSCR products as well with Pac Bay. So we can kind of service everything now. In some areas, we're more competitive, like conventional FHA and VA. We're going to be very, very competitive, especially out in Hawaii, I feel. But in other things like HELOCs, we may not be the best bet. And if we're not, we'll let you know, and your client know, because ultimately, we only want to service the people that we can service to the highest ability, right? So we have no problem. All we ask is to be a part of, like we just want a shot, an opportunity. So even if you have a lender already, that's fine. You know, we're not here to try to ask for business or handouts. You know, we just ask for the opportunity. Let's give Chris a call. Let's look at the situation. Maybe we can get creative with it. Maybe there's a better way, right? We'll take the time for that. And if we can put us on the board next to everyone else, we have no problem, you know, showing or trying to earn the business, right? Rather than just get it because we're all Coffee Talk family. So thank you guys so much. Stay tuned. Chris will be on again, for sure. When we're rocking and rolling, we'll do an official launch. So stay tuned. But thank you guys for coming on this Friday. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Hello, everybody.
Hello, guys. Thank you, Corey.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Got the fuzzy heart. Woo.
Fuzzy hot. Yeah. Yeah,
All right.
we gotta figure out, Chris, we gotta get you back down here, bro. All right.
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, very soon. Very soon.
Yeah.
We'll chat after this, and we'll look at the schedule, and we'll pick a good time, and I'll come down.
We're gonna jump on a call, right? Was it today?
Yeah, I think so. Or when you both have time, of course. There's no
Oh,
rush.
shucks. Maybe we didn't set it. I'll call Alex. He had to jump off, but we'll jump on a call and sync up everything.
Perfect. I keep screwing up this chat. I keep like pressing enter to, do a second line. It keeps sending. So I apologize if I'm sending like all my information in
No,
different
don't worry, man.
messages.
No, it's in there. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Anne. Oh, this is a great word. Oh. What is that sound, man? They're doing so much construction.